Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. In my videos, I use both Vedic and traditional Western techniques with tropical astrology, not sidereal astrology. I also use the traditional system of whole sign astrology for my analysis. You can use this video to the best of your advantage by listening to the introduction to understand what the week holds for you, and then going to the timestamps for your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a more personalized forecast for the week ahead. Astrology is not designed to scare you. It's designed to give you information so that you know what the good and the challenging energies in the week ahead will be, and you can therefore consciously work with them to the best of your advantage. Remember, knowledge is power. Now, there are scammers about, and so if you should receive a message from me on any platform requesting your money for a reading, know that it is a scam. Report them immediately. And now settle in and let's see what the astral skies have in store for the week ahead. Welcome everybody to this week's Astro Weather Report. I am so excited to share what's happening this week. It is a really profound transit that has the potential to change your life completely. But before we jump into what's going on in the astral skies, I just want to say that the winner of the May Astro Weather Report, the solar return report for the year ahead, is Brittany Sage 4023. So if you're Brittany Sage 4023, thank you for commenting on my video. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. You have won yourself a solar return report for the year ahead. So all you've got to do to claim it is contact me through the website, through the contacts page there. Let me know and we can organize details about getting that to you. And if you would like to win a solar return report for the month of June, all you've got to do to enter is simply like, share, subscribe, and comment on one of my videos for the month of June. I'll draw at the beginning of July the winner, and you'll find out whether you are the lucky one. But you've got to be in it to win it, don't you? So enter now. Now, if you are interested in solar return reports, it's a great time to do my short course in casting and reading, or learning how to cast and learning how to read your own solar return report or year ahead chart for the year ahead. It's currently on sale, my short course, for $30 off the usual price. So an absolute bargain. Simply go to the Learn Astrology page at the website. The link's in the description below. Learn how to read your own solar return chart for every year of your life coming up. And it also helps you to understand the years gone by as well and how the energies played out in the years gone by. It's a fascinating course. I've just revisited it myself and was actually really enlightened by a lot of what I was teaching there when I released the course. So check it out. Before I get into what's coming up this week, I just want to mention one of my followers, Lee Winter, has sent me a whole swathe of beautiful jewelry that she's made. These are so me, these beautiful pink earrings. And I just want to promote her work. She's one of my followers on YouTube, and now I consider her a friend. She gifted me these beautiful earrings. You'll see them over the coming weeks. And so I just want to, really uphold Lee in her work. If you want to check out her work on Instagram, it's Designs by Lee Winter. So Lee Winter is spelled Lewinter. Designs by Lee Winter, if you're interested in checking out her beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So thank you, Lee, for your beautiful gift if you're watching. Okay, this week, what is coming up? Oh my God, right out of the gate, this week, profound transit of Jupiter trining Pluto at the first degree of Aquarius and Gemini. Pluto in Aquarius, Jupiter in Gemini. You're going to feel this most of all if you have planets or points like rising degree or midheaven or IC or DC at the first degree of Aquarius, Gemini, or even Libra. And you can give an orb of maybe 3 to 5 degrees to really feel the impact of this combination in the air signs of benefit, of blessing, that could be coming your way. We're going to talk about this in the all signs breakdown, so stick with me for that. Now, the last time that we saw these two fabulous, empowering, transformative forces in this blessed aspect of a trine was in 2016. So obviously it's a rare transit. It doesn't happen regularly. It's not an annual transit like so many other transits that we look at here on the Astro Weather Report. And because it's rarer, it's more powerful. It's more noticeable to those of us who are working with Pluto-Jupiter energies. I'll talk more about that a little later. But Pluto at that time was in Capricorn and Jupiter at that time was in Virgo. And so we had this trine between two earth signs. Now they're in air signs, different energy altogether. And air signs make everything quite mental in the mind. So it's actually with this transit, it's time to adopt a new attitude. You know, something in your life needs you to develop a fresh approach, a fresh look at it, a fresh mental belief about something or mental concept about something in your life. You need to turn over a new leaf and have a new fresh approach to the way you're thinking about a certain realm of life. Now, this effect of Jupiter trine Pluto is at play for a few weeks because it's both rare and because two incredibly powerful and slow-moving brothers in the solar system are making aspect to one another. So it's powerful because it's rare, as I've already pointed out, and it's powerful because these two are kick-ass. They are really super powerful because they move slowly. The slower a planet moves, the more impact we feel in its life. I mean, just look at what Pluto does when he squares himself or when he makes aspect to any other planet in our chart. We notice it more than anything because Pluto is so plodding and slow compared to the moon, which zips around the horoscope once a month. So because these guys are slow, because this is a rare aspect, it is powerful. And these two, as I mentioned, are brothers in ancient mythology. They are the sons of Saturn in the ancient mythology, and along with Neptune as well. So those three have this tremendous representation in mythology. If you want to check that out, there's plenty of descriptions about their mythology online. And that's very important. They are key players in the solar system and in the myths as well. Now, one thing I can tell you about the air signs that this is taking place in is that they're visionary. Air signs look ahead, think ahead, are anticipating. They kind of get trends before they even arrive. They want to be where the action is. Gemini is a sign that wants to be in the middle of the news, doesn't want to miss out. It really suffers from FOMO, Gemini energy. It wants to be there where it's all happening. And Aquarius is the sign of the it's not so much prophecy, but it's getting trends early and seeing where things are going, having this vision for the future and getting there first. Very Aquarius. So all this mental energy is very much about the vision for the future. And present reality, therefore, takes a bit of a back seat when these two interact in this blessed way. What happens is we can embrace our visions and our mental aspirations for the future. Our mind is powerful now. The old adage, if you can dream it, if you can think it, you can be it, or something like that is an old adage. But that's what this is all about. Your mental thought processes are really affecting your material reality now. So what are you thinking about? What's at the forefront of your mind? What's important in your head right now? This energy can manifest something that you're thinking about. So make sure that you cleanse your thoughts. Make sure your thoughts are pure and that your visions are worthy, because that has the potential to manifest now with these two making a powerful trine at this time. Now, with an expansive planet like Jupiter and a transformative planet like Pluto, it's actually time for us to embrace the prophetic messages from Spirit that come to us, that inner knowing, that inner understanding. So you might be inspired in a certain direction in life, and it's time now to practically apply that in your life and make it happen. Use your willpower, Pluto, to make that message of spirit, like I feel like I have to speak up about a certain thing, or I need to take action about a certain thing in life, or I want this to manifest in my life. It's now time that we, when we get those prophetic messages to our soul, to start taking action regarding them, not just stay lost in our head. We've got to actually instigate. Sitting there twiddling our thumbs accomplishes nothing at this time, but knowing what spirit is telling us and moving forward with it, that is key. So you might be a bit ahead of your time with your inspirations now. Remember, it's a visionary, sort of a futuristic kind of energy that is forming. But these visions, these aspirations have come to you for a reason. You're being told by the universe, this is where you want to go. This is where you want to head. Pay attention to your heart. Pay attention to your thoughts right now. And I just want to stop and ask you, what have you been thinking about over the last couple of weeks as this energy has been building? What's been at the forefront of your mind? What's been a priority for you mentally now? Where does your mind wander to? That is key. That is the prophetic messages from spirit that are coming to you. Pay attention to those things, because those are the things that want to manifest now. What have you got to do to make those things manifest? What actions do you have to take to bring those positive things into being? It's actually time for taking some baby steps towards that end. If we dove in boots and all, it's kind of like it's mental and it hasn't formed its fullness yet, but we can take a baby step approach to manifesting now. And as we take that first step of faith, Jupiter is faith, Pluto is empowerment of faith. That first step of, universe, I believe that I deserve to have a job that is, more high paying than what I've got, where I get more recognition and more chance to challenge and stretch myself. I believe that's what I deserve. I'm going to take a baby step. I'm going to apply for this job. And that's my step. That step of faith will allow the sea to part, so to speak, so you can move forward, and rather than sit there and be blocked. So the parting sea, I'm referring to the old biblical story of the Red Sea parting. Your faith and your baby steps at this time towards your vision, your goal for what you want to be, will allow the sea to part, and therefore you to begin to move forward over the coming months and years. Now, I've just used the example of a career situation. It can be anything. It could be, relational situation. It could be a home situation. It could be a domestic situation. It could be a family situation. It's time for taking those baby steps in whatever area of your life you want to transform through faith. Now, Jupiter trine Pluto, actually, this transit dramatically increases your personal power and your influence. So some ways you might like to work with this energy could include, firstly, transforming your own life. And how we do this is by excreting what isn't working, getting rid of the things that are holding us back, the old attitudes, the old behaviors, the old job, the old town we're living in, the old friendship circles, excreting what isn't working, and at the same time empower what it is that you desire. You can send out dance energy. I danced a lot during the COVID lockdown era, visualizing the future that I actually wanted the world to be in as I danced, visualizing what I wanted for my life. And a lot of that has come to pass in terms of the personal things. I'm still seeing a little bit of slow momentum happening in the world out there, but certainly dance energy and intention with that invigorated, enthusiastic, adrenaline that we get when we dance is one way to do this. Dance therapy, it's called. Sex magic is another thing. Meditations, prayers. These are ways that you can empower yourself to bring about your desires. And I'll talk about the nature of your desire in just a second. So that's number one. Number two, you can transform your environment. It is actually time to make changes in your physical realm if that's what you want. I'm not happy with my current job or, the relationship I have with my boss. I'm going to make a change in this physical environment by applying for a new job. It's that sort of thing. Or I don't like where I live, or the street that I live in is full of horrible people. I'm going to move to a better place. It's time to transform our environment now. Thirdly, It's also time to transform other people's lives. This is actually very, very important because Jupiter is to be compassionate and benevolent and generous. And Pluto is empowering that side of Jupiter. So it's time to introduce friends who need to meet one another. It's time to undertake acts of benevolence and blessing for others. It's time to be generous with your time, your influence, your abundance, your power, and then you can watch these things flow back to you tenfold in the coming weeks and months. What you give out at this time is what you then will receive back from the universe in abundance. Jupiter gives in abundance, but he's generous too. So we give out and then receive back. It is imperative to keep high morals at this time and to not act selfishly. You know, if you're trying to transform your environment by cursing somebody or, making life hard for somebody else, if you are trying to transform another person's life by cutting their lunch, as we say, or, making life really difficult for them, then the universe kind of gives back to you what you put out, so to speak. So be very careful how you are undertaking these transformational elements. Only compassion, only unselfish acts will truly last the test of time coming out of this period. Selfish behavior going to lead to the corruption of the soul eventually. Jupiter-Pluto trine does not tolerate a foundation of corruption or self-obsession. You might see a reward for being corrupt. You might see a reward for being selfish in terms of material gains momentarily, but ultimately it is not for your greater good. It is not for your karmic good, and you will reap what you sow. So that's the warning with this particular trine. Now, the expansion and empowerment that you feel at this time, you could feel in terms of your career, and change in career that might lead to more wealth, more power. Or if you are traveling and have traveled in the past couple of weeks, this effect has been in place for a couple of weeks now as it builds up to the climax on the 2nd of June. If you have traveled or are traveling around this time on the 2nd of June and maybe a few days afterwards, you will find that your outlook on life is transformed in some way. You'll find your truth. You'll find your purpose. You'll find a sense of meaning and direction for your life that previously you didn't know. So it's very empowering in that sense. It's worth taking a trip. And any trips we do take can be quite life-changing. So, even if it's a drive in the countryside, on Saturday, do it. Take that time out to do that. This whole period, the lead up, a couple of weeks we've been living through up until now, and maybe a few days afterwards, is a very transformative period in our lives. This combination, just on the mundane level, it's likely that this combination and its build-up has been the reason we have seen the WHO pandemic treaty reaching a wonderful stalemate. So happy to see that. That's a true blessing for maintaining the sovereignty of nations, something that we need. Brilliant. This is also probably the reason, because Jupiter is our truth and Pluto exposes the darkness. This transit is probably the reason that we have seen the truth come out about the horrible AstraZeneca vaccine and its effects. It's also probably part of what has exposed Fauci in the pandemic, something we all knew about anyway, but it's now been exposed publicly in the social media and so forth. Gemini is media, and so that expose that we all knew was the case is now out there. This also, I think, is why the high-level world organizations that are calling for Israel to cease and desist, why that's happened. Because it's the truth, Jupiter, coming, and the compassion, Jupiter, coming out and being exposed, things being exposed for what they truly are, so that we embrace the truth and we embrace the goodness of Jupiter. But it has to be revealed first for that to happen. So if only we could live in Jupiter trine Pluto energy permanently, wouldn't we? Wouldn't it be a much better world to live in? But yeah, that's the reason I think that a lot of this mundane change has been felt. So that's what I'm seeing, generally speaking, for Jupiter trining Pluto here. What we're going to look at in the all signs breakdown, we will get to in a minute, but we're going to be exploring this energy in the all signs breakdown. But for now, let's see what else is happening this week that you might want to note down on your calendar. On the 3rd of June, Mercury is moving into Gemini. So here is Mercury at the same sort of vicinity as big old Jupiter. Now this is after the energy of Mercury being in sort of slow, plodding Taurus, Mercury picks it up a notch now with a move into a sign that he governs, a breezy, direct move into Gemini. So get ready now for your thoughts after the 3rd of June to come more fast, be more witty, be more humorous, and for you to be more eclectic in, where your mental processes go now. Interested in everything, curious about everything, wanting to explore and expand your understanding in every realm of life. There's likely to be a lot of news this month. We're already kind of seen that kind of beginning. Now it's going to really step up even more, especially with Jupiter being in Gemini now as well. So there's likely to be a lot of news, but also a restless tone to what we personally are doing. We're going to be busy, busy, busy like a bee, buzzing from this to that, running here and there, taking short trips, weekends away, got to get this done, got to get that done. It's busy, busy, busy. We want stimulation. And we might even find that if we're not getting it, we might feel a little bit bored. And so we cook up something to make ourselves, stay busy. So make sure you have some fresh interactions with friends going on. Maybe have a games night. Mercury is to play games, particularly intellectual games, or maybe a new interest to read up about. Maybe you want to start writing a journal article or something like that. If you've got those things up your sleeve, you won't get bored. You'll make the most of this energy that it's so busy and productive. Then also on the 3rd of June, we're going to have, naturally enough, Mercury trining Pluto as well, from the same degree, the first degree. So I have to ask you, my friends, do you have a strong Gemini or Virgo presence in your horoscope? Lots of planets in either Gemini or Virgo, the sun or the moon in Gemini or Virgo as a rising sign, or even on an angle. If that's the case, then you might be very sensitive to this energy of Mercury trining Pluto on the 3rd of June. This aspect is transformative, but in the best of ways, especially now that Mercury is moving direct while he's making this aspect. So it could spell changes in a relationship, or changes in finances, or changes in your mental perspective. Instead of glass half empty, you're now glass half full, depending on what house in the chart this Mercury rules. Changes in relationships might come if Mercury rules the 7th house, in a positive change, a positive momentum. Changes in finances if Mercury rules a house of finance in your chart, and that then brings you, positive financial change. So for some people, there could be windfalls. For some people, there could be helpful negotiations with powerful people now. For some people, there might be an increase in their desires and maybe even big changes in the appearance, the physical appearance. Anything is possible with this fascinating dance. So do you have planets around 0 to 1 degree of Gemini? Then if you do, don't underestimate the potential of this very benevolent interaction. On the 4th of June, well, it's kind of obvious what's going on. Mercury is going to be conjuncting with Jupiter. So we've got all these bang, 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 like, the pins in the 10-pin bowling alley just falling over one by one here. Mercury conjunct Jupiter. These two aren't exactly friends, according to the friendship of the planet system. They rule signs that are opposite one another. And yet this is still a conjunction that can bring, as they say, some good tidings of great joy. So good news can arrive on the 4th of June under this influence. We can feel more playful. We can feel more fortunate in life. Creative ideas are just popping out of our head one by one by one. So be sure to have something to capture them through the day. I carry with myself a dream book that I jot down little notes about goals and aspirations and visions and so forth that pop into my head during the day. Mercury is also trade and commerce, and Jupiter is prosperity and abundance. So with a combination like this, especially as both of them are within orb of trine to empowering Pluto, whew, this could be like the most, providential of transits. There's so much potential here. Of course, it depends what Mercury is ruling in your chart. As to what might manifest, but certainly something to do with, like I said, trade, commerce, prosperity, and abundance. For example, if Mercury is ruling your fourth house, you might be involved in some sort of trade or prosperity or abundance to do with a home or to do with some real estate development, for example. So that's how this works. You need to know what Mercury rules in your chart in order to sort of put it together in your head, piece by piece, what this could be meaning for you. I'd love to go into detail with you about that sort of thing, but obviously not enough time in this particular video. However, if you would like a reading with me about how the energies are playing out in your chart, do head to the Guiding Star website, where I am currently offering readings. Okay, 4th of June, the Sun is going to make a conjunction here with Venus. So this is happening on the same day as this conjunction of Mercury and Jupiter. Venus is sitting behind the Sun in this transit, okay, because she is actually not retrograde, she's moving direct. So she is moving behind the Sun. In other words, the Sun is between the Earth, represented by the Guiding Star logo here. The Sun is between the Earth and Venus. So while some people might be telling you online that this transit is about bringing love and harmony, Vedic astrology suggests that these themes are actually lost to us, because what's blocking Venus? The big, massive Sun, our star, is usurping the energy of Venus, gobbling it all up. And so it's not reaching the Earth, quite literally. Venus is not visible in the sky right now, and on this day, she's conjunct with the Sun, but the Sun is, like I said, gobbling up her energy. So Venus is out of sight, and so too is all that she represents. Make no bones about it, no matter what people tell you on Instagram and blah, 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 this is not Venus Cazimi. Venus Cazimi only occurs when Venus is in front of the Sun, not behind. So what is going on here? Venus is currently in the process of being symbolically purified by this transit behind the Sun. She is, like both the Sun and Venus are sort of on a par in terms of their dignity here. There is a purpose, though, to this divine transit that happens sort of, once a year-ish. Consider what is being refined in your life now too. What are you alchemizing, to do with Venus? What is being purified to do with Venus in your life? Venus things are money, love and partnership, beauty, attractiveness, being able to enjoy pleasure, being able to enjoy the good things of life, the delights of life. What about those topics is being purified for you? And Venus is getting ready for her emergence and her empowerment. She's going to come in as the evening star. Just had to think about that for a second. She's going to come in as the evening star in about 4 to 5 weeks' time. So this is a purification process, a time for you to refine your money. Maybe you might like to review your budget. Maybe you might like to review your wardrobe or the decor of your home. You might like to review and purify things in your relationship that are not really fulfilling you. Getting ready for that time in about 4 to 5 weeks when she emerges as the bright evening star in the sky. Now, the final component of this week that's actually very, very important is the fact that the moon will be conjuncting the Sun in Gemini on the 6th of June at 16 degrees. So this is a new moon in Gemini, and the moon holds mostly blessing for us because of this transit, with sort of no real difficult aspects forming. And there is also a conjunction with the fixed star Raguel. Now, I talk about this for my Patreon family, and I break it down what it means for your sign. So if you would like to join the Patreon family, by all means do so. Find out what this new moon in Gemini conjunct Raguel has in store for you. The mantra for this new moon is I build strong mental pathways, acknowledging the difference between opinions and facts. There's a lot more to this energy than just that, but that is the mantra that we're working with. It's the start of a new cycle of communication in your life. We need to assess who we need to communicate with and sort of refine who we need to communicate with. Imagine what needs to be said, plan it out, and when the moon becomes visible, take action and send that email, make that call, pay that person a visit, and see the blessing come because of those actions. We need to practice meditation and breath work in Gemini. Gemini is to breathe. Gemini is the lungs to get the most out of this lunar energy. So it's a good time to start a breath work practice or to start a meditative practice. Do you have personal planets at the 16th degree of Gemini? Were you born during the day? Well, these things have an effect on how you experience this new moon. So find out what this new moon is going to manifest for you by joining the Patreon family. The link is in the description below. Alrighty, that is all you're going to hear from me on what's coming up this week, because now it's time to explore how this beautiful, benevolent, once every 8-year cycle of Jupiter and Pluto trine forms. So the first sign we're going to start with is good old Gemini. I'm going to move Venus out of the way there for now. Pop her back here. Okay, so Gemini rising or Gemini sun or Gemini moon. This energy is forming or being felt and expressed through your first house because Jupiter is the faster moving planet. Okay, so this is where we feel it more. So if you have planets at 1 degree of Gemini or even Aquarius or Libra, give a couple of degree orb as well, then you're going to feel this more strongly. If your rising degree, if your sun, if your moon is at 1 degree of Gemini, you will feel this. This is an energy that is all about our willpower being strong. And because we have strong willpower, we can easily succeed in fulfilling the desires we have pertaining to the first house. Desire for health, desire for well-being, desire for bodily fitness, desire for bodily attractiveness. This energy can help make you more beautiful, more sexy, more appealing, my Gemini friends. So in that sense, if you've got something that you need to cleanse that's held you back from being your true sexy self, or your true, and I say sexy because that's Pluto energy, your true beautiful self. If something's been keeping you from that, maybe you just haven't had the energy to exercise, or you felt that your wardrobe's too dowdy or something, this is time for cleansing that, like in a literal sense. You can cleanse your wardrobe. I mean, you can walk around with a bit of Palo Santo and, smoke it out or something, but, I'm talking about excreting Pluto energy, what is not working for you in that wardrobe, and replacing it with clothing that does make you feel beautiful, that does make you feel sexy. And this, what you replace it with is likely to feel empowering to you for the next 8 years. So I'm not talking about just, got to be latest trend or whatever. This is fashion that lasts. This is fashion that makes you feel good about yourself, that fits you well, that makes you feel appealing, because the first house is our image. It's the mask we wear. Clothing is a mask that we wear. It creates an impression. It creates an idea of our status in society that we give out to people. And that's what the first house is very much connected to. So this is about cleaning up that type of thing, our image, our presentation, the status we want to present to the world. And we have a greater ease in fulfilling that now. So in that sense, cleansing, but it can also be an actual physical cleansing. You might want to do a juice fast or something like that. Just clean out from your system and purge out from your system any toxins, any sort of feeling, things that make you feel sick. It's really a supportive energy for helping you to clean out the system, the body, the physical self. One other thing that this can do is increase your psychic abilities. You, particularly Gemini, will be very tuned in now. You mightn't even realize it. It might be coming in sort of unconscious ways. In subconscious ways, but you'll say, well, I don't want to go to that railroad station because it's got certain issues or whatever, and so you go to this railroad station to catch the train to work, and you get to work and you find out that, oh my God, there was like some incident that occurred at that other railway station that you avoided. It's this psychic knowing, even unconsciously, that you find yourself using that benefits and blesses Jupiter energy, your life in some way. So first house, very strong for you. Now, for our Gemini friends, this is a beautiful combination if you want to learn more esoteric arts, astrology, tarot, mediumship, things like that, regression work and so on. So great time to enroll in doing courses, studying. Jupiter is higher learning in the house of you. Pluto is anything occult or hidden from the mainstream, not sort of, sort of the shadow side, if you like, which of course all these esoteric arts are part of. So learning those sorts of things is really empowered now. It's time for you to sign up to do some sort of higher learning in that regard. Another thing that I can also say is that this is a time for you to connect with your golden age self. Those of you who are familiar with the cycle of the yugas might understand what I'm talking about here. To pray, some people refer to it as higher self, deeper self, so on. I like the term golden age self. It is really time to connect psychically, energetically, mentally, because of the mental signs this connection is forming in. Time for you to connect with your golden age higher self. And ask for empowerment, ask for wisdom, ask for discernment. It will come in abundance. It will be yours for the taking, to guide you, to help you make decisions over the coming weeks. This energy is also one of leadership and power, recognition and prominence. And so you Gemini people might be much more capable of stepping into some sort of leadership role or a position of power in some way that you mightn't have had available to you before. You might have tried for that promotion, or to be, the head of the Lions Club in your town, or whatever it happens to be, and nothing came of it. Now, with this energy, especially if you've got your rising degree around 1 degree of Gemini, now this energy is much easier to manifest that leadership position or a position of prominence that you've aspired to. Nature supports your efforts now. It supports your efforts with your body. It supports your efforts with a reinvention of your image. It supports your efforts with survival. The ability to provide and thrive in life is empowered and blessed now. Nature supports your efforts towards Jupiter things like generosity, benevolence. It empowers you with your ability to learn, Jupiter energy in the first house, and it supports your efforts around seeking to be treated the way you want to be treated in this lifetime. If that means approaching someone and asking for forgiveness, or approaching someone and telling them, you're treating me wrong and I expect better, please, change your ways. This is a time where you can actually undertake that, Gemini, and the universe supports, or nature supports, those efforts. Now, just to conclude for our Gemini friends, because Pluto and Jupiter are not personal planets, people who have not worked with these energies of Pluto and Jupiter to embrace them, that being the shadow side and the positive side of both of these planets, if you haven't worked with those energies in your life, you probably won't notice or benefit from this transit. I would suggest, if you do want to understand how to work with these energies best, I would suggest viewing my Pluto or Jupiter transit through the houses video. It might give clarity on how to go about doing that. You can do that by simply going to the playlist at the YouTube channel. Thank you, Gemini. Moving along, Cancer rising, Cancer sun, or Cancer moon people. Jupiter is in your 12th house, and this is where the energy of this fabulous trine will be expressing. You'll notice it if you have planets or degrees around 1 degree of Gemini particularly. Now, the 12th house Cancer, it can be very difficult to get a grasp on. It's where we feel like things are a bit out of our control. And often that's the case actually, because it has to do with things in another dimension, energies from another dimension, our deceased relatives, our angels and guides, or our higher self, our golden age self, I like to refer to it as. And so for you Cancer people, this is a very powerful time to speak to your golden age self, to speak to your deceased ancestors, to speak to your angels and spirit guides, whoever is in the other dimensions that you call on and that you interact with. It is time for reaching out to them, because they are listening, waiting, wanting to empower and bless you with this beautiful trine energy. So all you got to do is ask, meditate, pray, just communicate, speak, whatever works for you, but come to the beings in the other dimension who've got your back and be amazed at the miracles they can perform. Look, there's a reason why the 12th house, it's a difficult house, yes, because it's sort of a higher vibration than anything we kind of know here on the planet, frankly, but it has also to do with miracles. And when the transits are right in this realm of life, miracles can form. Do you need help with money? Do you need help with health? Do you need help with career? Do you need help with home life? Whatever it is, pray to your higher golden age self for support, empowerment, blessing, wisdom, because this is the time, this transit is the time when this can express and come forward as a miracle that you've been waiting for in your life. This is definitely a transit of miracles. We don't get them every day, but this is one of them. Very, very powerful. Now, this house, the 12th house, is also about behind the scenes activity as well. And with this beautiful benevolent trine forming, it can mean that things are happening behind the scenes that you don't know about, you got no idea about, but they're actually going to bless you. You bought a lottery ticket, months ago for a future date, maybe a raffle ticket or something that wasn't being drawn for months. You've forgotten all about it. You don't even remember buying it. Lo and behold, boom, you win, for example's sake, especially as Pluto is coming from the 8th house of windfalls for you Cancer people. And so behind the scenes activity that is of a blessed nature. I've described a windfall here. It could be an inheritance. It could be somebody helps you out. Maybe somebody offers you their home to house sit for 6 months or something, saving you rent for 6 months. Something is going on behind the scenes that's coming your way. That's a blessing, Cancer. Love it. Okay, this is the house that sextiles the 10th house of career as well. So it can be an excellent time if you are aspiring to learn some sort of esoteric practices like mediumship or tarot and that sort of thing for a career change. This can be an excellent time for getting a certificate or studying or doing some sort of higher learning with that vision in mind. Remember, I spoke about the air signs being visionary, aspirational, where you want to head in the future. And because of the sextile to the 10th house, it can be very helpful and empowering now under this energy to study those things that can take you to a whole new blossoming career for yourself. Now, you might find that under this energy that you're given an opportunity of leadership or power or recognition to do with some sort of spiritual or creative work. Maybe you're asked to host a retreat or speak at some retreat seminar or something. Maybe you're asked to, be a yoga instructor at a holiday resort or something like that. This has to do with 12th house is holiday resorts and escapist experiences, and of course this trine is all about empowerment and leadership and stepping up in terms of recognition in the world in some way. So this can be very powerful as well. If you desire to work in those realms, you might see something come about. The energy of the 12th house has to do with our inner dreams, visions, and ideals, and it'll be very prophetic now. So trust your instincts now. If your mind is going to certain outcomes or certain aspirations, trust that that is your higher self guiding you, and take action around those things. This is the house of daydreams, and this energy is very connected to prophecy and visions and prophetic influences, especially coming through from our higher self or our angels or our spirit guides. So trust what you're receiving and take action. Nature supports the efforts that you make at this time. The energy is actually also to do with past life karma. Jupiter here is past life blessing, but there might be a need to cleanse and clear any past life attitudes, behaviors, subconscious hang-ups or self-sabotaging kind of actions that you take. And Pluto wants to clear that away now, and the clearing away comes easily. Now, if you're wanting support to help clear away, it can be stuff you don't know about that's hanging around from a past life. I would suggest that doing some journaling, art therapy, music therapy, dance therapy, all these kinds of therapies are really good for getting into the deep energy of the subconscious. And in doing so, you bring it all bubbling up to the surface to be excreted. Pluto is the god of therapy, psychological therapy, and in the 12th house can really help you release past life inhibitions or attitudes and things that are blocking your way, that are holding you back. So it's time for clearing that. In order that you can sort of succeed in fulfilling your dreams, your goals, your daydreams, 12th house. But you need to clear some things away potentially in order for that to happen. It can happen easily under this transit as well. Usually this is a house of large expenditures also, but this trine brings blessing from large expenditures. So, let's say you have to buy a new car or something like that. Well, you might find that it's the best thing you ever did. You get 20 years down the track, you're still driving that fantastic car because it's just the best thing you've ever spent money on. Large expenditures are seen from the 12th house, and this trine brings any large expenditures that you have to make are for your greater good, for the blessing of your life in its totality, in its big picture version. Jupiter is big picture, going forward into the long-term future. So if you are in a position where you're looking at buying a new car or buying a house or that sort of thing, then trust that whatever transpires under this energy is actually for your greater good in the big picture, in the long term. So the final thing I'll just say here for Cancer people is this can be a real awakening time. You come into some awareness of self. You come into an awareness of your meaning and purpose. Jupiter has to do with our purpose and dharma, and you discover it, you feel it, and you your soul sort of cracks open to the potential of meaning and purpose that it wants you to live in this lifetime. So very, very empowering. What a fantastic, fantastic transit. All right, thank you, Cancer. Moving along to Leo. Leo rising, Leo sun, or Leo moon people. The energy of Jupiter in a trine with Pluto will be exhibiting through the blessed 11th house. And this is happening on the 2nd of June at 1 degree of Gemini in this case, where you're likely to feel it if you have planets or, your 11th house cusp at this point or something like that. You're going to feel it more strongly. I forgot to say before, and I'll say it for you guys now and also for our Cancer friends, these two, Jupiter and Pluto, are not personal planets. So if you haven't worked with these energies to integrate them into your life, to understand them, to embrace all that they want to teach you, then you may not notice this transit so much. It mightn't be quite so impactful in your life. You mightn't benefit from it as much. If you want to know how to work with Pluto energy, if you want to know how to work with Jupiter energy, I would suggest going to my playlist about Pluto or my playlist about Jupiter, or both, to give some clarity about how to work with this energy the best. So I'll just say that so that you get the most out of this transit that you can. Okay, that's for Cancer, who I forgot to mention that for, and for you Gemini people. Let's take a look at the 11th house influence of this beautiful benefic trine. Well, our willpower is strong here, and so we can really have a lot of ease with succeeding and fulfilling our 11th house desires. And what is the 11th house? It's our aspirations, you know. I've been thinking a lot about 11th house, 5th house axis recently. 5th house is just our innate creativity, the things that we just want to do, you know, like that we have capability to do and creative intelligence to do. Opposite that is our 11th house, opposite the 5th house, which is all about our aspirations for what we want to do, our dreams. This is what we do and what comes to us naturally and freely. The 11th house is what we want to see happen. The luck, 5th house, that we aspire to see manifest. You know, the benevolence, the blessing that we want to see manifest. So 5th house is luck and blessing. It's one of the best houses in the horoscope. 11th house is opposite it. And so it's everything that we haven't got, the luck and the blessing that we find hard to grasp, is in the 11th house. And that's where our aspirations and our dreams and goals are. Interesting. So with Pluto in a trine to Jupiter here, we have what it takes to succeed in manifesting more luck, manifesting the fulfillment of our dreams, Leo. What is it that you dream of, you know, that you haven't been able to achieve with ease and, you know, effortlessness in your life? What has taken time to accomplish or to produce? It's an upachaya house. Things take time there. What has been what have you felt like is being held back from you to do with your aspirations and your dream for what your life looks like? Well, under this energy, you have more luck in succeeding at bringing that about, in fulfilling your desires. It's time for taking action, Leo, about your goals, about your dreams. Maybe you've always wanted to write a book and you've sort of had it on the back burner, you haven't had time, it's required more effort than you have the space to give. Well, along comes this beautiful benevolent transit and suddenly time opens up for you. You've got a whole weekend. You can sit there and create the structure of the book you want to write. You can start to put your ideas together and the juices start flowing. Previous to this, the blessing of the universe might have been sort of held back from you achieving that goal of writing a book, or at least even getting started. Now, with this energy, everything comes together. It's time. The universe has said, you're ready. Away you go. Let's do your dream and goal and make it a reality. Exciting times. So desires, wishes, ambitions have much more capacity to be fulfilled. This is a wonderful place to be experiencing this transit, my friends. You might need to sort of cleanse or clear what might have held you back. Maybe you're too distracted by networks or friendship circles or busyness that you haven't had time for yourself. It's very much a social house, the 11th house, and that can be a distraction from achieving our goals and dreams, you know. 5th house is very autonomous. It's all about, you know, me and my expression in the world and what I want to produce and create. 5th house, opposite the 11th house. The 11th house is like, oh, I'm networking, I'm interacting, I'm social, I've got friendships, I'm working with my friends and we're having a good time. It's a social energy, but that's a distraction from your autonomous ability to create what you want. So you might need to sort of say to your friends, I need some space because I want to do this. I need some time for me because I really aspire to produce X, Y, Z and fulfill this dream or desire. So there might need to be sort of a cleansing, if you like. You're not getting rid of your friends forever. Some of you might be sort of saying, oh, enough with that friendship. That's not doing anything in my life. You might be going through some of that. But it could just be a more temporary sort of, I just need some space, I need some time kind of approach so that you can focus on fulfilling your dreams and goals. And if that's what you need to make things happen, it's going to come easily. Your friends will be like, yeah, no worries, you know, busy with this, or I've got this going on, let's catch up in a month, you know, that kind of energy. It's not going to be a big drama to take the time that you need to fulfill your dreams and desires now. This energy also is it represents here what we need to do in order to create bigger networks. If that's something that you need, well, you might find yourself in some sort of position of leadership or power now, somewhere, in some aspect of life where you get more recognition or more prominence, and it's actually going to just allow greater networks to land in your lap. You don't need to actually do anything to increase your connectivity, to increase your reach, to increase your appeal to the masses. It kind of just comes to you now. So don't feel like, oh yeah, this is the house of what we need to do to effectively network. I've got to get out there and be generous and benevolent and da-da-da. Yes, you can do that. But really, just through showing up, you actually are able to, and empowered through Pluto's trine, to really create greater networks, to be seen by the masses, to get more recognition, to be in a role of leadership or power. So for many Leo people, they might see a rise in their social media activity as a result of this energy. They might see some sort of affluent blessing of the universe that sees their followers go up by 10,000 or something, something really like there's the big energies of Jupiter and Pluto. If you're working with it well, boom, you could really have some overnight success here. With this kind of thing. Your visibility, your appeal to large groups of people can really grow. Nature supports your efforts now, especially if you're making efforts for prominence and recognition, Leo. And we know you Leo people do like to be center stage. I say that without malice. I'm Leo too. So, it can be really positive if that's something that you aspire to. If you aspire to be recognized or to some sort of fame or celebrity, this can actually be a very supportive energy that enables that to happen. I will just say, though, remember what I said in the introduction, to keep in mind compassion, generosity, benevolence, as a mechanism for achieving your goals and dreams here. The more that you are kind and generous and giving, the more that energy floods back to you from masses of people. Masses of people can really form a great deal of blessing for you. If you're into crowdfunding and you need to crowdfund, this is a wonderful energy for doing so as well. Starting some sort of a Patreon or a YouTube membership or something can go very well if it's begun under this energy. Reaching the masses, with a message that you've got to share, some wisdom, which is Jupiter, some sort of generosity of spirit that you want to impart to other people on a large scale can be really blessed under this influence too. I'll just conclude, Leo, by saying if you have been in need of some sort of communal property for a big idea you've had, let's say you want to host a big retreat or a music festival or something like that, and you've been looking for the right place, this 11th house is the house of big communal property, places where big groups gather, and there might be ease of access now to your ability to find the right place, to book the right place if you need something for a large scale enterprise that you're hoping to undertake. So if that's you, it's all systems go in that regard, Leo. Thank you, Leo. Okay, Virgo rising, Virgo sun and Virgo moon people. Well, this is forming on an angle for you, Virgo, because, you're a mutable sign, so is Gemini, falling on the angles. And in that sense, Jupiter in the 10th house, trine by Pluto, can bring a lot of good things your way because angles manifest more strongly. Planets in angles manifest more powerfully. And this is happening on the 2nd of June at 1 degree of Gemini. If you've got your midheaven there or any planet there, you might notice it more powerfully. This is where our willpower is expressed in a strong way and we can succeed more easily in fulfilling our desires. Well, what a wonderful house for this to be occurring in, Virgo. This is about our publicity, our ability to be seen in the world, to have leadership, to be noticed. And this beautiful trine gives us empowerment to be seen, to be noticed, and to be in leadership. So fantastic time, Virgo, for applying for a job or getting a promotion, going for that membership on the board, or whatever it is that you want to do that requires a step up in leadership and recognition. If you're seeking fame, if you're seeking notoriety, if you're seeking to improve your reputation in some way, this energy has got your back. You have an easy access to those things. So whatever it might be in terms of public recognition, there is a easy move there. This is the house of our example to others, and you might be actually being some sort of example to others in your ability to have faith. Jupiter is faith. Jupiter is trusting what the divine is sending you in terms of messages or psychic understanding. You can be a leader to other people in that regard now, under this energy as well. They might be looking to you for wisdom. People out there in the world might be looking to you for guidance. And when I say out there in the world, it doesn't necessarily mean you've got to have the biggest YouTube channel on the planet. It could just mean that in your workplace, in your career, people look to you for your wisdom. People look to you for your intuition in some way. In your family, maybe you are the head of your family, and you've got your children coming and asking for guidance, asking for wisdom. There's a real empowerment here of wisdom giving, of being that leader that is benevolent to others in any capacity, big or small. So our example to others is a 10th house energy. In order to be successful though, you need to really embrace the energy of Pluto trine to Jupiter. And we talked about that in the introduction if you want a full breakdown of that. But it does involve being generous. It does involve being compassionate. And it does involve not being self-seeking. If you want to succeed, you've got to lift others up now under this energy. You've got to act from a place of humility, if you like, or a lack of selfishness. What benefits you should benefit everybody. Not just, I'm going to stomp all over everybody and I'm going to get what I want. If that's your approach, this energy is going to be absolutely lost on you and you won't get the benefit that it potentially could give you. If you're like, you know what? This person has been, supporting me my whole life, helping me along the road. I want to honor them. I want to give them the credit due to them. I want to reward them, thank them. And if you're working that way with the people in your life, the people around you who bless you week to week, then you are going to create more success in your life. You need to be that Jupiter empowered energy by the empowering planet Pluto. You need to be that Jupiter empowered energy in order to receive the blessing that is available in the 10th house. You need to be the wisdom giver. You need to be the source of blessing, the source of generosity, the source of expansion in the lives of other people. This energy is actually calling you to be a leader of quality, a high-level leader. So it's wonderful and it's exciting, but this energy also comes with a lot of responsibility in order to, put out and then receive back the good things in life. So my friends, if you are in a leadership position, evaluate, are you working with the right motives, the right beliefs, the right sort of aspirations at the core of things? Do an assessment of self. In fact, this energy is going to support you in cleansing whatever is holding you back from being that aspirational leader, from being that person who people look up to and, admire and respect. So, maybe you need to clear away and cleanse out of your life any selfish motives, any self-obsession, any tendencies to stomp all over others just to grasp whatever it is you want. This is about grace. This is about faith. This is about compassion. It requires a lot of integrity, this transit for our Virgo friends. The good news is that it comes easy. This is a trine. Trine efforts sort of land in our lap, and nature supports your the energies that you put into being the benevolent leader, being successful. Nature supports your endeavors to be that aspirational, cool boss, or great leader of your family, So acting with consciousness is kind of key here to achieving that. Sometimes also this 10th house represents what inspires us. Not only how we can be an inspiration to others through being, benevolent and charitable and all that sort of thing, but it's about what inspires us. And maybe you might encounter this week some stories of people who have been, graceful, compassionate, generous, philanthropic benefactors to people. So you're going to hear about those sorts of things, and you might even be inspired with ways you can be philanthropic and beneficial in the lives of other people too. Very, very exciting. In fact, whatever unfolds now for Virgo people is likely to form a legacy for the future, because Jupiter is big picture and he builds for the future. So he creates for the future. He inspires for the future. So, you might have thought, I'm just floating through life trying to survive. Well, along comes this transit, this expansive transit, and you suddenly discover what it is you want to do that has meaning, that has purpose, and that you want to create in order to leave a legacy when you pass over to the other side, I was talking to my daughter this week about her desire to be an architect and her aspirations in that regard. And we came up with all these ideas for how we could, utilize her talents and her skills as an architect and create potentially a beautiful business and a legacy that she might be able to, experience in this life and live in this life and then pass on when she's gone. So many, many ways that this can manifest for our Virgo friends. 10th house is our aims and our goals. And I would suggest that it's a really good time to reach out to your golden age self and ask for wisdom and empowerment and discernment to achieve your aims and goals in life and to restructure your life. This is a structural house. How do you need to organize your life? How do you need to restructure your life to get the most out of it, to be able to leave a legacy? Well, it's the way we do that with this transit that's forming is by reaching out to our higher vibrational self, the self within us that is actually connected to the golden age of man. Those who are not familiar with the cycle of the yugas may not understand this. I do talk about it in my Royal Stars Academy if you would like to know more. But just to conclude for Virgo people, because these are not personal planets, Jupiter is not a personal planet and Pluto is not a personal planet, it's very generational. Jupiter's interpersonal. Because of this, if we haven't learnt how and consciously learnt to work with the energies of Pluto and the energies of Jupiter, both their shadow side and their positive side, it's less likely that we will notice this transit or benefit from this profound, wonderful transit. So if you want to know how to understand and even integrate the Pluto-Jupiter energies, I'd suggest perhaps watching my playlist on Jupiter or my playlist on Pluto to give some clarity around how you can go about doing this. Thank you, Virgo. Alrighty, thank you, Virgo. Moving to Libra. Lovely Libra. Okay, Libra, you are very blessed because this energy is forming a trine from the 1st degree on the 2nd of June, a trine from Aquarius at the 1st degree to the 1st degree of Gemini, 5th house to 9th house. And of course, if you have your rising degree or any other planets really, at around 1 degree of Libra, it's going to be making a grand trine in all the best houses, the trinal houses of the horoscope. So you lucky Librans. And of course, you've got Jupiter here for a whole year. You've got Pluto down here for a whole 20 years. Whew, Librans are lucky, I must say. So you're going to feel this strongly, especially if your rising degree is here at around 1 degree. Well, this is going to be expressed mostly this week and perhaps in the preceding 2 weeks that you've just experienced, you might have noticed this forming in the ninth house. The ninth house is a fascinating place to experience this energy. I spoke in the introduction about the fact that this combination, just generally in and of itself, can bless you if you travel, can give you more insight into your purpose, to your future, to your destiny, to what will give your life meaning if you take a trip. And here, doubly so, because what's the ninth house all about? It's about long distance travels, going to a far away place. Now, I'm not necessarily meaning other cultures or other countries rather here. It does mean that if you live in Europe, but if you're in America or Australia, which are massive countries, it could mean like traveling from, San Francisco to New Jersey. And the difference in culture between those two places. In Australia, it could mean the difference in going from Melbourne to the Gold Coast, for example. So in traveling, you're going to get a lot of insights, meaning and purpose that will come to you. It's like the divine is just offering you on a plate. This is where, this is how, this is what the future holds for you. So travel is transformative under this energy. Very excited to say that as a Libra moon myself, because it's exactly what's happened for me in the last 2 weeks. We went on a trip and it was a life-changing trip. It was full of potential and destiny and future promise. Wonderful, wonderful to see this forming now. Now, this is also a house of visa matters. If you're an exchange student, if you're planning on immigrating, if you're planning on moving to a faraway place, if you're planning on relocating to another place, this energy helps empower that to happen. It helps you to succeed in fulfilling your desire to get a visa, or a desire to go and study in another country, or desire to move to a faraway place. Oh my God, how amazing. There is a really, like, nature supports your efforts in doing that. So if you've been wanting to move, there is power here to do so. There is blessing to do so. I mean, all you got to do is act. All you got to do is put the energy, into some form of action, and boom, it'll happen. So wonderful. This is also a house, Libra, that has to do with increased psychic abilities, this combination is about increased psychic abilities. This house is about prophecy. So, you'll feel it in your bones. You'll know, okay, this is my direction. This is, like I've already said, my meaning, my purpose, but it's almost prophetic. I know this is where I'm meant to be. I know this is what is forming now. You have this inner knowing. You have this divine contact with your golden age self through this transit that is going to empower this inner knowing that you will have. It's a prophetic knowing. I just know I'm going to get into this medical degree. I just know I'm going to move to this place. I just know it's going to happen, So trust that inner knowing, that sort of confidence that's within you at this time, because the divine is guiding you, supporting you under this incredibly powerful energy. What else can I say about the ninth house here? It's a house of blessing in ancient times, but it's blessing and good karma from past lifetimes. So for the good work you've done, some people don't believe in past lifetimes. It could be something good that you've done in this lifetime that you're getting rewarded for now. Pluto is karma and can be traumatic karma as well. But in the trine to Jupiter, who is the planet of good karma, it's just all wonderful because of who you've been in a past life and the good things, the compassionate things, the benevolent things you've done, the universe gives back to you now some form of blessing or perfected joy, perfected love that is seen through here. I'm excited. For many Librans, there's going to be potentially some big shifts in life, big changes in life, but it's all for the greater good. It's all to bring you to your destiny, to expand you, to do more in the world, and to fulfill the purpose of your incarnation. I'm excited, Libra. I really, really am, I have to say. This is a house of inspiration. Jupiter is a planet of inspiration known as guru in the Vedic system. And this combination can bring us into positions of more leadership, but it's leadership that is inspiring to others. Many of you Libran people are going to be given a sort of an empowerment to be a source of inspiration and upliftment to other people. It's about, you know, the best ministers or the best pastors in if you're into religion and so forth, they are not about here I am, look at me, I'm so fantastic. They're about let's inspire and lift one another up for the week ahead so that we can journey through this life with greater empowerment. And that's what you're becoming under this energy, Libra. You are going to be gifted by the universe with the right words, the right philosophies, the right wisdom that empower others. You are going to be the source of inspiration. Now that can happen on many scales. It could be that you write an article for a magazine or a blog or something like that, and it gets a lot of traction because the words you've used really hit home to people and empower people's lives and inspire people. It could be that you're simply talking in, a family get together and you say something that just blesses the life of someone else in that family dinner or family meeting or whatever. So it can happen on many scales, in many ways, but there is so much potential for you to really be empowered by the divine with a word of inspiration that uplifts and blesses and raises the vibration of others now. You are a source of inspiration under this energy, my lovely, lovely Librans. So, wow, very exciting. This is also the energy for many of you Librans who are on your second marriage or second committed partnership. This is the house of the second life partner. So gorgeous energy for empowering your second husband or wife. In some way, because you're carrying this energy in your chart, your spouse, if they're a second spouse, not your first, but second, is going to be blessed, is going to be uplifted. They're going to find themselves in a position of power or recognition or prominence in some way because of this energy. They are going to be empowered. They are going to work better with the natural energies this week. They are going to be able to clear what's been holding them back and cleanse it out of their life so that they can succeed with effortlessness. So if you have been sort of praying for your partner or supporting your partner and helping them rise up, this energy comes in to sort of boost you even more. It's a wonderful, benevolent energy of blessing. Love it. Now, of course, we all know the ninth house has to do with higher learning. Great energy for studying something new, particularly because Jupiter is higher learning, to get that sort of higher level wisdom, not just a certificate in cabinetry or something like that. Jupiter is the philosophy, the understanding of, wisdom and big picture concepts, which of course your partner will be experiencing that sort of expansion as well as you. But for you, this energy of wisdom and higher knowledge is going to be empowered by Pluto in the house of higher learning. It is time. Pluto is also occult sciences. It's time for studying astrology, Libra. If you've ever wanted to, couldn't be a better time. This is a fantastic energy for doing so. Finding a mentor, finding a guru that you can study with is also blessed right now too. This is also an energy if you want to study mediumship or, Ayurveda, if you want to study tarot, any kind of occult alternative practices are supported now. And also because Jupiter is the big picture and the future, whatever you undertake and study now, let's say you embark on the Royal Stars Academy with me, in the future it's going to be of great blessing to you. This is the best time to start a course, to start some form of learning, be it at a university or whatever, but particularly with occult sciences. You are going to be able to transform that or utilize that in the future to bless your life. This is a house of blessing. So what you study, what you learn, what you undertake forms a blessing for you in the future years. brings abundance. Jupiter is prosperity. Pluto is great wealth. And so what you study now brings more abundance, more blessing, more expansion into your life in the future. Finally, this is the house of what gives our life meaning. So in studying anything esoteric or occult, it's going to give your life more meaning, more depth, and purpose as well. Pluto, Jupiter here can give more material blessing because they are both financial planets, of course, and that financial blessing can help facilitate meaning and purpose in your life. For example, let's say, you are blessed financially with a retreat center that you can run a retreat from. That brings a sense of fulfillment. I want to run retreats. I want people to, learn about the stars, or I want people to learn about tarot, or whatever it happens to be. And you get this retreat center, material prosperity and abundance to be able to utilize that thing to be a blessing to others. So excellent time for finding meaning and purpose through some material acquisition. And remember what I said in the introduction, it's about being charitable. It's about being gracious and giving and a benefactor and a philanthropist for the sake of others. What can you give to others to uplift them, to bless them? Because what we give out under this energy is what we receive back tenfold. You want to be blessed? You want your life to be, a walking miracle? Give out love, give out blessing, give out a miracle to somebody else, And I'm not saying if you're struggling to make ends meet or you haven't got any money, it doesn't necessarily have to look like a financial blessing, although that is a lovely thing to do. It doesn't have to look like that. It could be that you pray with someone, or you help them to find a home if they're homeless, or you help somebody, with a meal if they're sick and they just haven't got the energy to make dinner for their family. By being gracious and compassionate, you actually are giving out energy that you will receive back, grace and compassion from the universe in return when you need it most. That's what I'm feeling for our Libran people. Very exciting, especially if you've been traveling, Libra. Good karma's coming your way. Alrighty, moving on from Libra to Scorpio. We were out stargazing at the time of the Aurora Borealis, Dave and I, and Scorpio is so magnificent in the sky at the moment. Do check it out if you can get out there and go stargazing. It's one of the most majestic constellations. Seriously, beautiful. Okay, Scorpio. So we are having, if we are Scorpio, the energy of Jupiter at 1 degree of Gemini in a trine with Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. It's going to be expressing through your 8th house, Scorpio. Get ready. And especially if you've got planets or your 8th house degree manifestation point here at around 1 degree, you'll feel it strongly. I do have to say, though, before we dig in, if... these are not personal planets. Jupiter and Pluto are not personal planets. They're a generational planet, Pluto, and an interpersonal planet, Jupiter. And because of that, if you haven't been working with these energies to integrate them into who you are, to understand them, to live powerfully with them, the shadow side and the positive side of these planets, then you're probably not going to notice this transit. You won't benefit as much from this transit. Now, if you want to know how to understand these energies, work with them, integrate with them, live them as best you can, then perhaps you might like to check out my videos on Jupiter through the houses or Pluto through the houses, where I talk about all of that. It's at the playlists for my YouTube channel if you're interested. But this is an energy where our willpower becomes very, very strong, and it's exhibited through the 8th house. So we easily succeed in fulfilling our desire for change. 8th house is change, turning our life around, transforming our life. And I know many of you out there probably feeling like you're stuck in a rut, sick of things being the way they are and wishing the world was different, like your world personally was different than what it is. Well, there's never been a better transit to transform that with ease and with power. than this one. This is super for you. If you want your life to look different, all you've got to do is act. Visualize what you want, see it in your mind's eye, create a vision board, and take action. Go for that job, change that home. This is an energy of turning life around 180 degrees. Not everybody's got this going on, Scorpio, but you do with this transit between Pluto and Jupiter. Nature supports your efforts for change here. Nature supports your ability to create the vision of the life that you want. So this is an energy for many of our Scorpio people. You might notice that you sort of get a lot of benevolence coming your way, or you might win something. There might be some sort of payout that you get, or some inheritance. We don't inherit something every week because the 8th house is triggered, but this is a very powerful and rare transit, so it really can correlate to some sort of windfall, something coming your way, some sort of benefit. Pluto is the god of great wealth. Jupiter is the general god of wealth in the house of inheritances and windfalls. So for some people, especially those with the 8th house cusp at 1 degree, you will likely notice something lands in your lap. Something comes your way. Now, it mightn't be money. It could be, the use of a space, a home. It could be, you inherit grandma's fur coat collection. It could be that, you receive some act of emotional support that changes your life in some way, or physical support as well as financial support. But it is a material house. Usually the material goods of others are seen through the 8th house, so you might be receiving something from other people that supports your life, and there's an ease in receiving that now. One thing though, Pluto-Jupiter is about cleansing what has held us back. Pluto wants to excrete things that don't serve us, and I've got to say the 8th house is about the skeletons in the closet, the things you know full well about that you've done that haven't been above board, that you're trying to keep a secret, that you're going to pretend don't exist. Those things need to be purged and released now in whatever way that looks like. Maybe, I don't know, you stole a ream of paper from work last year, and you've been feeling guilty about it ever since, and you haven't told anyone. Skeleton in the closet right there regarding work. Well, maybe it's time that you, under this energy, if you want to receive the blessing of this energy, you've got to cleanse those sort of secret acts out of your life in order to receive the blessing. So maybe you make a donation to work for the cost of a ream of paper. Your slate is clear. Don't even have to tell anybody, but you feel free. Could be anything. What have you done in secret? What have you hidden from other people that hasn't been, all that good? Well, it's time to clear it out. I can't stress that strongly enough, Scorpio. Really, if you want the benefit of this energy, it's time for clearing the slate. It's time for getting those skeletons out of the closet, whatever the condition they're in, and setting things to rights. You're going to be supported to do so. So don't be afraid. The universe is going to make it an easy road for you to clear the slate, so to speak. Now, in a more practical sense as well, I've talked about some psychological behaviors there, but in a practical sense, this is the house of, big business. It's the house of loans, of mortgages, that kind of stuff. And here, these two planets in a benevolent trine can actually make it very easy for you to either pay out a loan, or to get one if you need one. Access to credit is what gives our lives capacity. How on earth can you achieve anything if you don't have access to a loan from a bank? Can anyone afford to just go out? Apart from all the big 1% wealthy people in the world, how many people can afford to just rock out there and buy a brand new $60,000 SUV? Not many people that I know. Most people I know have to go and get a loan to do that. And we need access to credit to be able to facilitate life. Now, I know this is a whole kettle of fish. Some people are like, well, you should live within your means. And yeah, that's true. But if you want to, expand your business, are you going to do it by living within your means and penny pinching for 20 years to do so? Or are you going to take a step towards a business loan and so forth? But anyhow, let's not get into an argument about that. This energy supports any investment in a career, in a business. Any loans and mortgages can come to you now. So if you need something like that, and you've got the means to pay it back, I'm not big on people getting into debt just for the sake of getting into debt, like if you can manage it. This energy supports them approving your loan, giving you maybe more money than you thought they might under this influence. This is a house of where we can ask for help. And this is a very benevolent energy. If you need help, like going to a loan manager can, that's going to help you financially. But anyone, if you need to approach, anyone who can help your life, you need to do so with humility, compassion, grace, faith, and belief that they're going to support you. Whether that's going to your mum and dad for, ask if you can use the holiday house to live in for a little bit till you get back on your feet or something, or whether it's going to a mentor or a friend or something like that for some support. Asking for help at this time under this energy is blessed if you approach it with, like I was talking about in the introduction, if you approach it with a level of humility and grace and faith. Jupiter energy, very important. Also, if it's not done from a place of greed, if it's done from a place of, I want to bless my family. We need a roof over our head. I want to bless my community. I need to borrow this community facility, this public hall, or whatever it happens to be. Asking for help in a gentle, humble way is the secret. Now, the 8th house has to do with mystical healers, shaman, psychologists, astrologers, tarot practitioners, and so forth. And this energy is actually brilliant for studying those things. Jupiter represents the occult, and Pluto represents the occult, and Jupiter is what we can gain some higher knowledge about. And in the 8th house, there's never been a better time to undertake some sort of study or research, particularly deep research in the 8th house, into understanding astrology, tarot, mediumship, regression work, that kind of thing. So if you've ever wanted to study that sort of thing, now is the time. There's a few signs where that is playing out, and this is you as a Scorpio person, this is one of them. So if that's your pathway, it's going to set you up for a blessing in the long term, in the future, because that's the nature of Jupiter. It gets us moving in a certain realm in order to bless us. We look for the blessing immediately with Jupiter, but the truth is it often comes down the track, in the distance, in the future. It expands. Jupiter's expanding us now so that we can receive the blessing in the future. He's wanting you to learn astrology now so that you can be an astrologer in the future and be a blessing to others, be benevolent to others in the future. What you utilize in this house of the occult and mystical and magical practices, you need to utilize as a blessing to other people, to help other people, to heal other people. And the more you do so, the more that the universe gives back to you. It's just a principle here with Jupiter, Pluto, trine. Now, in the shadow side in the 8th house, it's a house of catastrophes and tragedies and crashes and accidents and breakdowns, divorce, and that kind of the difficulties of life. But this energy is benevolent. If you go through some kind of a challenging crisis, this energy is going to help you come out the other side victorious. This energy is going to help you be the one who stands on the top of Mount Everest, with your hands on your hips, surveying the world around you, victorious, like you are the winner. So I love this energy. If you've been going through a tough time, if you've had a surgery and it hasn't worked out properly, or if you've gone through some sort of catastrophe, or you're dealing with a divorce, this energy is going to sort of take you forward to a better place in leaps and bounds. Happy to say. You'll be able to sort things out more amiably. You'll be able to find solutions, medically that you might need. You're going to be able to just stand in a better place from what is occurring this week. So onwards. So I'm excited in that regard for my Scorpio friends. This is also the house of intimacy, sex. And with Pluto, he's a pretty intense god of sexuality. You're going to really have the ability to expand yourself through sexual activity. Now, what I mean by that is maybe sex magic, or having a really deep, intimate experience with a partner that's life transformative can occur under this energy as well. So if you are in a blessed position to enjoy that sort of thing, well, it can really bring you to a higher level. It can take you to a higher plane, higher vibrational state through some sort of sexual experience. Very, very exciting. Thank you, my Scorpio friends. Okay, Sagittarius, rising, sun or moon. The energy of Pluto and Jupiter trine is going to be expressing through your 7th house, especially if you happen to have your descendant degree around 1 degree of Aquarius, of Gemini. And this is happening on the 2nd of June. It's building up sort of in the weeks before that. You will have probably been noticing some effects, but it reaches its culmination on the 2nd of June. And this is the realm of the chart where we can easily succeed in fulfilling our desires. Now, before I talk about relationships, which is the common theme of the 7th house, I just need to say this is also a business house. It's a very strong business house because it's the 10th house from the 10th. So if you have been wanting to succeed in business, succeed in career, this energy is going to have your back. It's going to bring you the willpower to make things happen and the capacity to fulfill your desires in terms of business or career success. In fact, it's going to help you cleanse whatever it is that's holding you back. Maybe you haven't been able to get a loan yet, or maybe there's been some obstacles to your being able to move ahead with a business idea. This energy clears it out of the way, releases it, lets it go. In comes the blessing. So very exciting time if you're working with some contracts or some sort of deals or negotiations. This is a very powerful time for creating manifestation that is going to be a blessing. So, it's a good time for starting a business, actually, I have to say, Sagittarius, because this energy will be in the chart of the business you establish, the ability to pay back a loan quickly, or the ability to create prosperity and abundance from some sort of business venture. Very powerful here. Now, also, as we know, this is the house of other people in our life. This is an energy where your partner might be getting seriously blessed. Your committed better half or your business partner or that sort of thing, people that you work with, stand to be greatly blessed now. They have an ability to succeed effortlessly with their desires as well as you in your businesses, So, you're going to see your partner rise up. You're going to see your partner succeed at something. And that's a beautiful thing. Love them, support them, celebrate with them their successes, their victories. Nature supports the efforts of your partners now. So, if you're collaborating with let's say a graphic designer who's designing a website for you or something, this energy is going to empower them to create the best website you've ever seen. And you're going to be the beneficiary of that. If you're working with a marketer, if you're working with an accountant, if you're working with anyone that's a business collaborator in your life, they're going to bless you because they're empowered. If it's your spouse, your committed partner, they're going to be blessed. And of course that blesses you. And prosperity and abundance comes to your partner. How fabulous. Because you know what? When your partner is blessed, you're blessed. When they're able to put food on the table and pay the bills effortlessly because prosperity has arisen in their life, your life's better. The bills are paid. There's food on the table. You've got a nice warm house to live in. Brilliant. When your partner is blessed, you're blessed. So I love that this energy is expressing there for you Sagittarius people. This is a house also that's about balance and fairness and justice. This beautiful benevolent trine is going to help you to know discernment, to create balance, wisdom to create harmony in your life with your partnerships. This is a very gorgeous energy for just enhancing your relationship, building it up, making it stronger. So at this time, invest in your relationship. You're going to see the blessings flow on over the coming years in your life. It is worth spending time on your relationship, maybe having a little bit of a holiday. Jupiter is to go for a trip or a travel. Having a holiday with a partner can be very, very empowering. Now, also, I would suggest that, well, it can go two ways. Your partner will be in some way very much connecting at this time with their golden age self. Their golden age self providing enlightenment, blessing, benevolence, wisdom to your partner. And that's a gift. So if your partner's saying, look, I think we need to move to this location, or I think that, you should put in for this job. If your partner's coming to you with some sort of guidance or wisdom, trust them, because they are hooking into their divine self with all the right answers. Okay. Not only that, but I think you have that capacity now too, especially when it comes to relationships. You have wisdom around relationships. It's coming from your higher divine golden age self. That wisdom is coming through now and empowered now. So you know how to deal well with relationships. You know how to bless your partner with wisdom, with guidance, with discernment. Your partner as well is going to sort of perhaps be offered some sort of position of leadership or power or recognition or prominence with this energy. So you're going to, like I said, see them rise up, but they're going to be offered an opportunity in the next couple of weeks as a result of this energy. They might have already been feeling that they need to, put in for an opportunity to be a leader in some new way here. So Sagittarius is really, really good for empowering your partner and move forward in the world in some way. It's also, as I mentioned earlier, the house of contracts and alliances and commitments and promises and vows. It's a great time to be making any treaties or signing any contracts or, creating any particularly important agreements now. This energy, it couldn't be better. You couldn't get a better energy to form that sort of thing with. Signing trades and sales, negotiation, mediation, that kind of thing. Acting, like business transactions are blessed and will continue to be a blessing going forward for many, many years to come if done under this beneficial influence now. Okay, so Sagittarius, just to conclude, the energy of Pluto is very much a generational planet, and the energy of Jupiter is an interpersonal planet. So they're not personal planets the way that the moon and the sun are and that sort of thing. So really, it's worth saying that if you haven't worked with these energies to embrace their shadow side, to understand their negative and positive attributes, if you haven't embraced them or integrated their energies, you probably aren't going to notice this transit very much, and you may even miss out on the blessing that this transit can bring. So I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, I don't think I did, but it would be a benefit to listen to my Pluto or Jupiter playlists to understand what these planets are all about, so that you don't miss out on this fabulous energy that they have to offer. This is an energy that can attract so much good to you, so much benevolence to you through other people. Other people, I should have mentioned this as well, other people can be a source of blessing in your life. Somebody comes in and says, I want to offer you this job. Somebody, says, if you'll work for me for a year, I'm going to put you in charge of this division or whatever. We get blessed because of other people here. Our partner succeeds in life, she's doing great, he's doing great, and we are the recipients of the blessing in that sense. So if you want to receive, it's coming from other people now, but you've got to understand the Pluto-Jupiter energy for it to manifest. So for your sake and your partner's sake, work with that energy well, or find out how to work with that energy to the best of your advantage, and you will attract good things from other people who will bless you and be benevolent benefactors in your life. Alrighty, thank you, Sagittarius. Capricorn rising. Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, people. Oh, want to go for a walk? That's okay. Thank you, Capricorn. The energy of Jupiter in a trine with Pluto is going to be being most expressed in the 6th house, Capricorn. Especially if you have your manifestation point at 1 degree of Gemini, you'll feel it the most. And what we're seeing here is a strong, benevolent willpower in the house of health and well-being. So many of you Capricorn people have what it takes under this energy to heal from a problem in your body, or, in your situation, like to pay out a debt. That's a big one with this. They're both financial planets. You have a capacity to end a loan or pay out your mortgage or something under this energy. There's also the power to heal from, like I said, some sickness, some disease, and cleanse the body in some way. In fact, do a juice fast or some sort of cleanse to release toxins. It's well supported under this energy for sure. Use your body well now. Care for your body, and you will reap great rewards under this transit. This is also an ability to resolve adversity. If you've been in a court case, or if you've been in an argument with an ex-lover or something like that, this is an energy where your willpower to resolve things can help you succeed in laying that to rest. I know that's probably a delightful thought to many people. We just don't want these burdens hanging over our life. We want to be free and get out there and live life to the fullest. And this is an energy that will enable you to do so. So really, this is also an energy that's going to help you find practical healing. So Capricorn, if you need a naturopath, if you need a chiropractor, if you need an acupuncturist, this energy is going to help you find the right healer for your condition, to help you purge, cleanse, and heal. Pluto is purging and cleansing. Jupiter is benevolent in the house of healers. I would also suggest that potentially occult healers might also have some benevolence to give as well. So getting some information from an astrologer, or seeing, some sort of alternative, like a shaman who does some sort of, goes into the duat for you, and deals with past life traumas and issues so that you can purge them. Past life regressionists, all of these kinds of people are ruled by Jupiter, sending a benevolent trine to the 6th house. And this is the house of our past life karma that we need to get rid of and burn to be free. 6th house is a heavy duty energy, let's face it. And so this trine from Pluto to Jupiter here is giving you the ability to find the right person to help you burn that past life karma. So it could be a regressionist, could be a shaman, that kind of thing. I would also suggest that you practice benevolence to burn your karma. You are supported to do so now. You have empowerment to do so from Pluto. So Jupiter is compassion and generosity. Jupiter is to be a benefactor. Who can you help? Who out there? I mean, if you focus on serving, then you're going to get the biggest blessing from the universe. Pluto's the god of great wealth. Jupiter is compassionate, and Jupiter is to be the benefactor in the house of service. If you look to serve, how can I help my neighbor who's old and frail and struggling? Maybe I'll go and split their wood for them. Or my other neighbor, my goodness, she's got 4 kids and her partner's away for 2 weeks and she's on her own. I'm going to cook dinner for them and take it into them so that she's not frazzled. How can you serve the people in your life? By doing so, and I'm not saying that you do so to get a kickback from the universe, but you will get a kickback from the universe. How you can help, heal, serve, make things more balanced, make things right is the method that's going to lead ultimately to you being blessed. So it's worth doing so. I talked about this in the introduction with this energy. This is also an energy that's going to give you the power, the willpower to fix conflict. because the sixth house has to do with our visible enemies, enemies we know we've got. Somebody who's taking us to court, you know all about it. This is going to give you a strong willpower to really go at it like a bull at a gate and come out the victor, okay? So that's one thing as well. But also I would suggest that because Pluto, Jupiter trine is about connecting with your golden age self for wisdom, discernment, and empowerment, you're going to know how to best deal with this person who's an enemy in your life. Do you approach them and say, let's settle this out of court? Do you go to that work colleague who's, bitching about you behind your back and making life hard and call them out? Only you know the right course of action, but under this energy, you're going to have the wisdom to know what to do. Because your golden age self, your higher vibrational self, is going to be coming through now powerfully to lead you in the right way to deal with that situation. I just point out that on that topic, forgiveness is a wonderful helper for any digestive issues that we've got. The digestive system is heavily affected by holding a grudge, clinging on to things and refusing to forgive. This energy is, if you can forgive, then you release the clamping up or the restriction on your digestive system. Very powerfully supported by a cleansing energy. Pluto wants to cleanse and purge and release what is no longer useful, and that is supported now too. Forgiving, cleansing, digestive system working fantastic. Just using some dot points there. I'd also suggest that this energy is a great time to clean out your cupboards, clean out your house. If you do so, you'll get your life back on track. This is the house of cleaning, making things, function well and efficiently and getting things right and rebalanced. And if you do so in your physical world, then your inner world will also experience a lightening of the load. It's the old principle of as within, so without, but reversed. As without, so within, If you need to sort of clean out your cupboards and declutter and take things down to the thrift shop, then do so. This energy you'll be blessed if you do this. I would even say this is a combination that if you were to do so, you might discover something in your cupboard that you forgot was there that's worth a fortune. Pluto is the god of the underworld, the hidden riches. Quite frankly, making a trine to the god of wealth in the house of cleaning, you might discover, my God, there's $100 in this wallet I forgot was there. Or, wow, there's a 1930 penny. Those of us in Australia know about 1930 pennies. There's a 1930 penny hiding up here in the back of the cupboard that I never knew was there. For those who aren't from Australia, there was 1930 pennies had a very limited edition for various political reasons in Australia. So they're very rare, and for coin collectors, they're incredibly valuable. Everybody hopes when they're doing a renovation to find a 1930 penny under the floorboards. So you never know. You might find one this week. This is very much the energy of finding the hidden treasure. So that's what I'm seeing for you, my Capricorn friends, in the week ahead. Oh, and I should mention, Pluto and Jupiter are not personal planets. So if we haven't learned to integrate their energies and understand them and work with them, then we may not get the benefit of this transit. We may not notice this transit at all. So it's worth understanding how these planets work. And you can do so by simply going to my playlist on Pluto or my playlist on Jupiter and find out more about these energies and how to integrate them into your life. Thanks, Capricorn. Okay, Aquarius rising, Aquarius sun, and Aquarius moon people. Well, aren't you blessed, Aquarius? You've got Pluto transforming your life for the next 20 years in your first house for a start, but also now trining Jupiter in your fifth house of luck, good luck and benevolence and an advantage in taking a risk and seeing it pay off. This is the house of fun, and Jupiter is a planet of joy. Wow, you Aquarius people, so blessed. Firstly, Jupiter in your first house is transforming your life and your personal experience in a big way. Jupiter now is going to make it easy this trine to Jupiter. There's a real positivity and capacity to cleanse what has held you back. You know, if you've wanted to be a celebrity, if you wanted to use your creativity to support your life, if you've wanted to have children, fifth house things, then this energy can help you get rid of the blockages that are stopping you from having children, being a celebrity, using your creativity to make a prosperous life for yourself. Anything that's been blocking you can now be swept away with this energy, particularly if you have your fifth house manifestation point at 1 degree of Gemini. It will be very strong for those people. Not only that, sorry, I meant to mention this is happening on the 2nd of June, but it's building up in the weeks before, so you're probably already noticing these effects. So this is a time when you can be very intuitive about how to use your creativity. You know, it's an energy for having the divine flow through you. You know, you're inspired to write that novel, or the music's just coming out your pores, you know, as you write songs or poetry, or make a film or do some sort of performance or something. It's just coming through you, almost like you're channeling something from another realm. Very, very powerful energy. Pluto's like that in this beautiful trine effort. You also have a strong willpower. You know, the willpower to make use of these fifth house things, to enjoy yourself, to have fun, yes, but also to create and to make something of that creativity, so to speak. The fifth house is also about confidence, actually. And if you have not felt confident, if you have felt that you know, you're very creative, but you haven't got the courage to put yourself out there, this energy transforms that. It changes that. It takes it by the horns and turns it right around. And you'll probably find in a week or two that, you know, you are more willing to put that book out there, to send it to a publisher, or to hold an art exhibition, or whatever it is, where you are showing your creativity to the world. Sometimes, Aquarius, the fifth house, it might be very creative, but we don't have the confidence to shine our light. Along comes this transit, and my God, it's just, we're putting it out there. Everybody loves it. The feedback we're getting is brilliant. You know, this makes us feel glad to be alive, this energy. It's also the house of love. Some of you might be experiencing a transformation in your love life, you know. Deeper, more passionate love is felt. More joy in your love life. More excitement, more happiness, more of the fire of God coming through in your relationship with a lover. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about committed partnerships, but it can be, you know, if your committed partner is your lover, as I hope they are, then this can apply also. But if you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, this could even sort of bring some level of commitment, because the passion is so deep and so intense and so powerful. Some of you Aquarius people might be meeting a love of your life, you know. I know when I met Dave, I had certain fifth house energies being triggered left, right, and center in very powerful ways that caused me to meet him, and he's now my committed partner. So you've got to start with the love before the commitment comes, and this could be what is forming under this energy for many Aquarius people. That falling in love with a soulmate, Pluto, soulmates, and particularly past life karma. Fifth house is good karma from past lives. Jupiter is the planet of good karma. So really the ability to know deep personal love that's maybe a bit karmic, of the best variety, all forming now in the most wonderful way. This is the house, just to change the topic for a moment, the house of gambling and taking risks. Well, never has there been a better time to go, you know, buy yourself a lottery ticket, or, you know, enter into the raffle down at the local club. My God, because Jupiter is the planet of gambling. In fact, Dave and I have just got back from a holiday to a place in Australia that has a casino called Jupiter's. You know, no coincidences there. They knew what they were doing when they named that casino. Jupiter is the god of gambling. In the fifth house of taking a risk and lucky breaks, trined by Pluto, the god of great wealth. Oh my goodness, Aquarius, get out there, buy that lottery ticket, especially if you have your fifth house manifestation point at 1 degree. But That said, I would also suggest that any other risk taking is supported now. You know, if you're taking a risk by launching a business, if you're taking a risk by going up to a girl and asking her on a date, if you're taking a risk by, you know, going and getting IVF treatment or something, this is any kind of risky sort of like gamble in life, not just the material monetary gamble, but any other gamble, is supported with blessing now and empowerment now. So what can you take a risk on that you want to see manifest in your life, Aquarius? That's the question to ask yourself, and take action. Don't just leave it in your head. Don't just be visualizing what would it look like if I won X, Y, Z, or if I took that gamble or that risk. Take a step, a baby step even, towards making it happen, and watch, as I said in the introduction, the Red Sea part for you to cross into that land of promise in some benevolent way. Very, very exciting. Now, this is also a house of change to career. I'm not sure if many people realize that about the fifth house. The reinvention of career, the renovation of a career, sudden reversals in career are seen from the fifth house. Why is that? It is 8 houses from the 10th. 10th house up here, count 8 houses, boom, you end up at the 5th house. So this can actually trigger very beneficial changes in career. Like a reinvention of career. You know, if you're wanting to launch, you know, your life as an independent autonomous consultant, this is the time for taking that risk, taking that gamble. You're going to reinvent the career that you've been trained in by going it, you know, on your own. Doing it your way, for example's sake. Some of you might want to put in for a promotion. Some of you might want to change careers completely, Aquarius. You know, you might have been working in the medical industry and you're like, screw this for a joke, I'm out of here. I'm going to go and work in the construction industry, and away you go, for example's sake. And there's blessing that comes with the renovation of your career, of a change in career. So how can you, it begs the question, Aquarius, how can you shake up your career situation to feel more in line with meaning and purpose for you? If you've got an answer to that question, then you need to take that road, because this energy is here to support you. So that said, it's an excellent time for getting wisdom from the divine, from your higher self, your golden age self. It's an excellent time for finding yourself in a position of leadership. Maybe you're teaching younger children in some way, or you're being recognized in a celebrity circles, or having some sort of celebrity prominence, Aquarius. That can really increase for you now under this energy too. Nature supports your efforts, Aquarius, to be a celebrity, but to be a teacher, to be creative. Nature supports your efforts in terms of career change. Nature supports your effort for anything that requires taking a risk or a bit of a gamble. That's what I see for Aquarius people. Let me just say that Jupiter and Pluto are not personal planets. So if you haven't worked over the course of your life with their shadow side and positive side to integrate them and to understand them, then you may not notice the benefits of this transit. It might just pass by. So I would encourage you to understand Pluto deeper and to understand Jupiter deeper, and you can do so by going to my playlists on Jupiter and Pluto here at the YouTube channel. Check it out for free. Get some clarity on how to go about integrating their energies and making the most of this wonderful, wonderful transit. Thank you, Aquarius. Alrighty, Pisces rising, sun or moon. I am loving this Jupiter transit to the 4th house of Pisces already. It's only just begun and away we go. But here it is, Pisces. It is kicking off its transit. Jupiter's kicking off its transit of this angular house with a trine here between Pluto and Jupiter. Oh, this is happening on the 2nd of June at 1 degree of Gemini. You're going to feel it the most. And so this speaks to me, like if you have your IC degree at 1 degree or thereabouts, you're going to feel this most strongly. Very, very strongly. Okay, what does it mean? Well, Pisces, you know, Pluto is sitting in your 12th house of your golden age self, your higher wisdom, the person that you are when we are all as a collective in the golden age. Some people refer to that as our higher self or our deeper selves. Some people refer to 12th house energies as the spirit guides or our deceased ancestors, whatever it is. It's other dimensional energies that in this case are blessing us, sending miracles our way. 12th house is miracles when it's a benevolent energy like this. Miracles being sent from the other dimensions to Jupiter in the 4th house of home, where we live, life foundation, emotional core strength. So let's start by saying that your emotions are going to be strong now. They're going to be powerful. You can emotionally change your life through intention. You can cleanse any emotions that are toxic out of your life under this energy, and the divine is going to help you do so. It's going to give you the wisdom to know what to do. It's going to give you the opportunities to clear out old habits and behaviors, or emotional heaviness, that guilt, or frustration or regret that needs to go. Get rid of those emotions that are not serving you well now. Beautiful benevolence from perhaps your past life self, your higher self, all those energies that I was speaking of. And it changes your foundational core strength to be much more planted, much more powerful, much stronger. And when our inner energy is strong, we have greater capacity to influence our lives, to make conscious changes to our outer world. As within, so without. If our inner self is strong and empowered, as this energy will be doing for us Pisces, we can manifest the life we want. It's like when we're in the golden age, we have this ability to manifest the life we want very easily because our core self is healthy and strong. And that's what's coming back to us now, or our vibration is increasing now because of this beautiful once in 8-year transit between these powerful astral bodies. I'm excited about this. Okay. It gives us a greater sense of security and comfort and stability. It gives us a more empowered sense of belonging and protection, this combination. So I love it. If you're living in an environment where you don't feel safe, then the universe is going to provide for you, Pisces, something secure and safe for you to go to. What a gift, what a blessing. Jupiter is expansion here in the 4th house of where you live. It's going to expand your community. He's going to, and especially when he's empowered by Pluto's trine, he's going to expand your community. He's going to expand your level of comfort in your domestic environment. He might even, for some of you, expand, your home situation. Some of you might have an opportunity to get another home, maybe buy an investment property or an Airbnb. Maybe you might be selling your current house so that you can have a more spacious home. There is a growth and an expansion with this Jupiter energy in the 4th house of where you live that could be very tangible like that for some people. Some people might be really feeling a sense of deep connection with where they come from, their home. This is an energy not for feeling homesick, but for feeling a sense of belonging and meaning in their roots. And that can be physical place that they come from, but also our heritage, our lineage, our family bonds are somehow enhanced or empowered. Really lovely energy. And look, this is forming on the weekend, 2nd of June. I just got a text as I'm doing this reading for you from my sister saying, come around for dinner with her husband and my brother and his wife. And I'm like, we don't do that often. We live too far away from each other to do that. And here in the house of family, we've got this wonderful opportunity forming this weekend when this combination forms to actually connect as a family in a beautiful, lovely manner. 4th house is hospitality, having dinner together. Now, you might think, oh, that's a little bit disappointing of a transit. I want something big. I want something powerful. You don't know what might come out of that that dinner with your brother and your sister, where that might lead. Jupiter sets things up for the future. And this beautiful benevolent trine from Pluto to Jupiter is setting things up for the future. It brings luck, Jupiter, and abundance to fourth house things. You go for dinner. It's, maybe you meet somebody at that dinner who, asks you to go in on some property development with them, fourth house things. All of this stuff could manifest. It might be that you buy a lottery ticket, and I think thinking about the home lotteries here, in Australia, we have lotteries where you can win a house, for example. Very fourth house is a house. Jupiter is luck. Pluto is god of great wealth. You buy a lottery ticket on this day, setting you up for maybe a win, in 3 months' time when that lottery is drawn, So it's setting things up for the future. And you don't know what it is that you undertake on this day, fourth house energy, that's going to be of benevolence to you and benefit to you down the track. So connect with your roots, your lineage, your heritage. It's a blessing to do so. Really resolve to release those old emotions that are debilitating and self-sabotaging. In doing so, you are freeing yourself of energy that is holding you back from all the aspirations and the dreams and the goals you might have. Working with these energies, a lot of people say, oh, nothing happened for me with that transit. Nothing came with that transit. I hear that all the time. They don't realize that the little incidental things that occur are what triggers things down the track. It's like the snowball rolling down the hillside. It starts out as a little rock rolling down, but it gathers more and more snow, and boom, by the time it gets to the bottom of the mountain, it's a monstrous avalanche. This is what we're talking about, is these little incidental things that become the big things down the track. Okay, so what this can also mean is that the people you share a home with, Pisces, can be very, very blessed. This is our household, fourth house. So, you might find that there's a lot of joy, Jupiter energy, a lot of empowerment of your household and the dynamic in your household, the friendships in your household might be just growing and blessed now. You might find that the people you're surrounded by are more Jupiterian, jovial and happy and all that sort of thing. But they might also be the people you're surrounded by in your home might also be very interested in occult things, which is Pluto, tarot, mediumship, astrology. There might be a lot of talk about that sort of thing in your home environment around the 2nd of June. The people in your home that you share a home with might be very much able to succeed at fulfilling their desires because of this combination. This can also be your parents. Your parents are blessed by this energy forming in your fourth house. They have a stronger willpower. They have increased psychic abilities to know what the universe wants them to do. Some of you Pisces people might find yourself in some sort of position of leadership or power or recognition or prominence regarding property or real estate development or hospitality in some way. You might also be have a position of leadership in a family. You are stepping up and saying, right, family, we need to make this decision about this circumstance. Boom, you are the leader in the family. Everyone's looking to you and counting on you and relying on your guidance and your wisdom with this energy, Pisces. You are also, if you are a parent, you are likely to be very empowered as a parent. It's like the divine from, like I said, Pluto in the 12th house. The divine is speaking to you, giving you the wisdom to know, how you should deal with this difficult parental situation, how you should resolve this, what therapies you can put in place in your family to heal any family wounds and any family traumas. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom coming through to you now under this influence as well. This, just to conclude here, is the house, Pisces, of fixed wealth. What is fixed wealth? Well, a property is a fixed wealth. Assets like that you can't pick up and take with you, obviously. And so what Pluto here in trine, Pluto, god of great wealth, in trine to Jupiter means is that there might be an expansion of fixed wealth in your life. Maybe you acquire the block next door and you can make a bigger garden for yourself or something like that. Or you, like I think I've already mentioned, can have the opportunity to invest in real estate or buy a hotel or a restaurant or something. Some form of hospitality is seen through the fourth house, and you have the capacity to attain that sort of thing. In some way. So something to do with hospitality, something to do with real estate development, accommodation, be that, paid accommodation for people to come and visit you, Airbnb kind of stuff, or your own accommodation, your own domestic environment. It can also mean Pluto is renovation. Pluto is to transform something. And some of you Pisces people might be seriously looking at undertaking a renovation. In fact, you'd be blessed to do so under this energy. It will turn out exactly how you want it, maybe better than how you thought it would. You might be able to afford it more than you ever have before, to undertake some sort of a renovation to your home and your home environment. So it's really quite a big house, the fourth house. There's a lot going on with the fourth house. It's the foundation of who we are. So I'm very excited to see this transit forming for our Pisces people. But I will just say, Pisces, because Pluto and Jupiter are not personal planets, if you haven't worked to embrace the shadow side of Pluto or the shadow side of Jupiter, as well as the positive side, then you may not notice this transit, or it might not be benevolent to you. Nothing might happen. And so I'd just encourage you to understand more about Pluto and Jupiter if you can. If you want to know how you can do so, just simply head to the playlist I've got on Pluto and Jupiter here on my YouTube channel to get some clarity about how to work with these energies so you don't miss out on this once in 8 year precious benevolent transit. Thank you, Pisces. All right, Aries rising, Aries sun, Aries moon people. Well, my goodness me, you are having this beautiful transit of Pluto and Jupiter trine expressing through your third house. Wow, this is such a uplifting energy for creating your own self-made prosperity. This is the second house from the second. The third house here is the second house from the second, meaning money you make from your skills and abilities, your talents, your craftsmanship, your own, like I said, your talents, the money you make from playing an instrument, the money you make from doing some sort of leather work or something. And Pluto, Jupiter are two great gods of prosperity. This is the house of small business. If you have a small business, Aries, and many of you Aries people are very entrepreneurial, this is going to bring a lot of blessing to something that you use your skills and abilities to make money with, a small business, for example, or a side hustle. So let's stand back and watch this grow. It's so exciting. You have the willpower to make it work for you. If you've been thinking about launching a side hustle or a small business, this is a great energy to do it under, because you've got the drive, the ambition, and the expanded blessing of Jupiter to help you fulfill your desire in that regard. You're also going to have your finger on the pulse, very visionary energy, as I said in the introduction. There's an ability here to know how to market your business well, how to promote it, how to reach people, effectively. There's a real sort of almost psychic knowing of how to generate interest with this combination. So a lot of you, I said in the introduction, a lot of you Aries people might be traveling under this energy, and if you do, that's when we get some significant purpose in life, meaning this is a restless energy. The third house is short trips, going for a weekend down at the beach, coming home, or having a drive through the countryside on a Sunday afternoon. That's what Gemini, in this case third house, is all about. And in doing so, you're going to experience something that will change your life, give it more meaning, give more purpose, give more insight to who you want to be and how you want your life to look like. So I feel for many of our Aries people, there's a lot of aha, epiphany moments coming your way through taking a trip under this energy. This can also be a blessing for any relatives or neighbors or siblings that you might have. If you participate in a workshop group, it's likely to be very expansive and enlightening as well. So blessing coming to those people. And in fact, if you can be charitable and benevolent to those people in your life, to your neighbors, to your siblings, to your relatives, you will receive back from the universe the benevolence that you put out tenfold. So it pays now, Aries, under this energy, to be kind, to be giving, to be generous. These are nature of Jupiter. Pluto will expand that. And in the third house of neighbors and relatives, you will receive back from the universe the kindness, like I said, the benevolence that you give out. This is a house of communication. So it's likely that the universe is going to put on your heart some sort of message that you need to share, some insight, some wisdom, some sort of psychic download that you need to put out there for people. So whether that's through a social media post, whether it's through writing an article for a blog, whether it's through doing a YouTube video, if you feel inspired, go for it, because the universe will be speaking through you. This is the house of messages from the divine, messages from the gods. And so with this combination, it's a very powerful message that's wanting to come through now. Don't deny it. Don't stifle the universe, You'll find the way to share whatever is on your heart that is important. Whether it's a simple message, complex message, doesn't matter. Put your words out there. Speak your truth. Nature supports your efforts in doing so. Now, a lot of you Aries people are going to find yourself in some sort of position of leadership or power in a workshop situation. So, you mightn't instigate the workshop, but you might go to one, seminar, conference, that kind of thing. You might go to one and you might be called upon to be an example or to lead in some way or to share some sort of inspiration. And I'd encourage you to do so. Again, it's an opportunity for you to share that message that the divine wants to speak through you, Aries. But also it could lead to greater, more empowering things down the track. Because wherever Jupiter goes, he's setting things up for future benevolence. We often think, Jupiter needs to bless me now where this is. I need to have all of a sudden the most expansive small business you've ever seen. He doesn't always work that way. He can, but he doesn't always. Sometimes he plants seeds. He sows things for the future that then sprout down the track if we've nurtured them and watered them and cared for them. So you might get an idea for a small business, for example, or you might be speaking at a conference that you never expected you'd speak at, and it leads to something down the track. It helps you move into a position of recognition or prominence in the long term, which can be very, very exciting. Okay. The final thing I want to say about the third house is that it's a house of bravery that comes from a strong mental narrative. And this is just the most wonderful transit for enhancing your mental narrative in a positive way. It's about cleansing thought patterns that don't support you. It's about releasing them. It's about letting them go so that you have just the strongest mental fortitude and the courage that you need to make life work for you. This is house of courage, house of bravery, coming from the way we think. And of course, Jupiter here brings a level of faith to the way you think. I just know things are going to work out. I just know if I take this action, the universe will rush in to support me. It's this inner knowing, inner confidence that comes from this transit that helps you to be brave and courageous and take a risk and make a fresh start in some area of life. So don't be afraid. Put yourself out there and you'll be astounded at what the universe can do for you under this transit on the 2nd of June and going forward. Now, because these energies are not personal planets, if you haven't worked to integrate the shadow side of Pluto or the shadow side of Jupiter, as well as their positive sides, then you may not notice the benefits that this transit can bring you. If you would like to learn how to work with these energies, then I just encourage you check out my Pluto playlist or my Jupiter playlist on the YouTube channel, because it will give, checking those out will give you some clarity on how to integrate the energies of these planets. So important. Thank you, Aries. And finally to Taurus. Taurus rising, Taurus sun, Taurus moon, people. Well, the energy, this is quite a fantastic energy. The energy of Pluto trine to Jupiter is forming and expressing through your second house. Now, this is for Taurus people will love this actually, because Taurus likes the material stability and comfort, don't they? And this energy is one in the second house, exhibiting in the second house. It's going to bring more stability, comfort, pleasures, luxuries, material prosperity to your life. You've got the two ancient gods of wealth. Jupiter is wealth, Pluto is great wealth, brothers in the mythological system, making this benevolent trine, empowering you to fulfill your material desires more than ever. Well, Taurus, this is great. If you've wanted to, accumulate a collection of something, or find that last, coin for your coin collection, or stamp for your stamp collection, you have the willpower to find it now, and the universe and nature support your efforts in finishing off that collection, making that, conservation effort complete. This is great for that sort of thing, as well as increasing your financial prosperity. Happy to tell you that. So it's an excellent time actually for learning financial astrology, or undertaking some sort of study in tarot or mediumship to bless your financial position. So, when we understand financial astrology, for example, we can then, effectively work with the stock market and make the right investments that support our body's journey through life. So this is a great time for studying financial astrology, learning how to see materiality and material prosperity in the chart. So I'd encourage you to undertake those sorts of studies, Jupiter's higher learning, while this transit is occurring over the next year. You'll be blessed by this. It'll be really good for you. It's also an excellent time for increasing your resources for living. Second house is your personal resources for living. The food that you eat, being more healthy, more clean and less toxic. Maybe you'll start growing your own hothouse tomatoes or something like that, instead of buying shop ones. Maybe you look to make your shelter home, in other words, more self-sufficient, through maybe you put in a fireplace instead of relying on external heat sources. Maybe you put in some solar panels to give yourself hot water or whatever. You become more self-sufficient, and the universe provides mechanisms for you to do so. It gives you the empowerment to make those things a reality, if that's something you've wanted to do. The resources that you need to live physically are seen through the second house, and Pluto, Jupiter, empowers you to manifest more of those things, and hopefully manifest them in a really ethical way, so you can tread lightly on the earth, and so that you can actually pay less to the powers that be out there that govern those things. Now this is, like I said, a house in the horoscope that's all about stability and security. You might find that not only will nature support your efforts to create stability and security, and to create a sense of value and worth in your life, but you might find yourself in a position of leadership or power or recognition or prominence for your efforts to create stability and security. So let's say that you have, set your home up to be completely self-sufficient, and you get contacted by a YouTube channel or a magazine or something like that who wants to interview you and uphold you as somebody, who has, living the dream, so to speak. That could be something that manifests, for example, say, where you get a level of recognition. Jupiter trine Pluto is recognition, or prominence for your ability to create your own resources. And that could be anything. I've talked about setting your home up self-sufficiently. Maybe you win Business Person of the Year, that could be it. Or, maybe your bank manager tells you, you have, saved, or actually this happened to me years ago. My bank manager told me You and my ex-husband at the time have sold your house for more profit than anyone else in our bank this year. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I don't know what transit I was going through then, but it was maybe something like this, you know, some sort of recognition for your ability to create resources, to create prosperity. You can get a level of recognition in some way from that. Okay, what else can I tell you about this? This is the house of financial institutions, and you could see some sort of financial institution in your life somehow blessing you, you know. I'm just trying to think how that might actually manifest. Nothing's coming to me. Banks and, you know, credit unions and that kind of thing, you know, might be, you know, offering you a, I don't know, a discount on your credit card or something. I don't know, but there's some sort of blessing that's represented by this combination to do with financial institutions. You'll know it when you see it, even though I can't think of an example. Yeah, and Jupiter here can expand the amount of belongings that you have, you know. You maybe you want to add to a collection. I've talked about that already, or maybe you want a brand new couch. This energy can help you acquire new possessions that you aspire to own. Can be quite exciting and fun in that regard. Yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of things with this Pluto Jupiter trine that's so benevolent, that's forming on the 2nd of June at 1 degree of Gemini. You'll be feeling it. Now, these planets, Taurus, are not personal planets. They're outer planets. And therefore, if people haven't worked with these energies to understand them, to embrace them, to know their shadow side and know their positive side, then if you haven't done so and integrated their energies into your life, then you may not notice this transit. Its blessing might pass you by. So I'd encourage you to come to a level of understanding with Pluto and Jupiter, and you can do so by exploring my Jupiter-Pluto playlists on my YouTube channel. They give clarity on how you can integrate these energies, and it's my hope that both those playlists will be a blessing to you. But thank you so much for joining me, my YouTube family, for this sojourn around the horoscope with such a powerful, powerful combination of planetary energies. I'll catch you next week with the Astro Weather Report for the week ahead.